He said, pray as you see me pray. Utter these words that you hear me say. Based on the Sunnah, worship Him, just follow Him.
Assalamu alaikum. New class coming to you every Monday and Wednesday, taught by Ustad Layla Nashiba, the fiqh of prayer. Every Monday and Wednesday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Inshallah, we'll see you there. Streaming on all major platforms, channel Sunnahfollowers.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Listen, we are in dire need of donations to keep these shows running and available for you 24/7. So that means when you're in the car, it's available for you to listen to. Whether you're at work, streaming, playing a game, it's available for you to listen to. Growing your deen and learning about the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful different topics of Islam. Listen, one of the heaviest deeds that could be placed on your scale on the Day of Judgment is Sadaqah Jariyah. Yes, I know, I'm trying to build deeds daily. So you can too. So listen, feel free, and please, from the bottom of your heart, donate to this wonderful cause, wonderful website and platform to continually push out shows that will benefit you and the Muslim Ummah. Yes, you can donate by going to the Sunnahfollowers.net website, pressing the donate tab. You can also scan the QR code in YouTube on the far left top of our videos that are streaming. Listen, guys, this is very important, and take this as important. We want to keep this programming available for you 24/7 so that you have access in your car, anywhere you choose to tune in to this wonderful programming. Yes, guys, it's all at your disposal. So listen, feel free to donate. Once again, remember, Sadaqah Jariyah, one of the heaviest deeds on your scale on the Day of Judgment.
He was known as the Sword of Allah, one of the greatest generals in history, one of Islam's greatest heroes. His name, Khalid ibn al-Walid. Sunnahfollowers presents a new series presented by Ustad Mukhtar Shahid. Coming soon, so stay tuned. Streaming on all major platforms. Channel Sunnahfollowers. Sunnahfollowers presents a new upcoming class. Stay tuned. Sacred Bonds by Daryl Abdullah Kirk. Yes, Sacred Bonds, navigating the depths of Muslim matrimony and the family. You don't want to miss this one. Please stay tuned. Streaming on all major platforms right here on Sunnahfollowers.net.
My name is Sully, better known as Pius. I can help with surahs, so I can recite.
My name is Suhaila, memorizing surahs, reading the Quran, and practicing the Sunnah.
My name is Mommy, better known as Ummi. Islamic education is key to the family. We tune in every day to learn something new, and Sunnahfollowers is helping us, and it could help you too. Tune in every day for new programming. Stay tuned.
And much more.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wake up in the morning, hands and feet get wet, get wet, get wet, wet, my wet, my Wake up in the morning, hands and feet get wet, getting ready for our conversation, deep and in depth. Obligations are serious and need to be met, so I prepare so I won't forget. Go ahead and make a good intention.
right, I got a couple questions for y'all. The first one, who is your Lord? What is your religion? Who is your prophet? Now, I know this sounds crazy, but if you're one of those people that have been trying to get information and you come across this, or even this. All right, take a listen.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Sister Layla Nashiba, the Managing Director and founder of Sunnahfollowers Online Islamic University. As you know, we have classes every day beginning at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we cover everything from Aqidah, which is your belief system, to Seerah, which are the stories of the Prophet, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the story of the companions. Please join us every day beginning at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we are broadcasting and streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, DLive, Trovo, and Twitch. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Proper Aqidah, Quran and Sunnah, Quran and Sunnah, Minhaj and Aqidah, actions speak louder than words,
Sunnah following kids, come with me.
Work hard to get to heaven. Treat the people good like the prophet would. Proper Aqidah, Quran and Sunnah, Quran and Sunnah, Minhaj and Aqidah, actions speak louder than words,
Assalamu alaikum. This is Yusuf and this is Ayub. And if you are benefiting like we are from the classes and the ongoing programming and tuning into the Sunnahfollowers, please donate. Let this be an ongoing Sadaqah Jariyah on your behalf. You're helping the kids, the conference, and everyone seeking knowledge. And it's a wealth of information every day you tune in. Don't forget, you are being rewarded for your generous donations to keep this programming on air. You know, just like what you're hearing, put your dollar where the dollar's at. Right here on Sunnahfollowers. Don't forget, donate. Right here to Sunnahfollowers and Sadaqah. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
know your Lord. We learn about His names and His attributes. Know your Lord. What He approves and disapproves. Know your Lord. Believe in all things that He has brought forth. Know His oneness, Lord.
Know Your Lord, part of the Right Belief series by Sheikh Karim Abu Zaid, right here on Sunnahfollowers. Being taught by Ustada Layla Nashiba as she lays down the foundations to get you together. Learn about your Lord. Know your Lord. Streaming on all major platforms. Channel Sunnahfollowers.
Ina alhamdulillah, wa salat, wa salam ala wa rasulullah. I'd like to welcome everybody to our series, Know Your Lord. And this is based on the book written by Sheikh Karim Abu Zaid. May Allah bless him and forgive him of his sins. Ameen, ameen, ameen. And for those of you who have not yet purchased this book, I want you to please go to Amazon.com and get a copy of this book. The book is only $19.99. And just to let you guys know, a lot of, there's so much drama going on, filthy drama in the Muslim world here in America you need to know where your money is going. So when you buy these books from Sunnahfollowers, you go to Amazon, any books that you buy of Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid's, they go to help cover the expenses of SAFAUSA.org, which is their Islamic school, which includes a virtual homeschool program that I encourage you Muslims that can't afford it. If you have one child or two children, perhaps you can afford to pay the $400 a month per child, to get them a online at home education. But that's what the money from the books go to help cover paying the teachers and all the expenses of SAFA USA. And with so much fitting going on here in America, I'm sorry, that's the only way I recommend you to go, because your children are not safe anywhere anymore. We're living in the days in which our prophet told us where the best thing for the believer to do would be to take their property and go to a mountain and isolate themselves to protect themselves from the fitna. I hate to say it, but even the mosques are not safe anymore, as you guys know, here in America with the fitna that's going on. The same thing that happens in the non-Muslims, in the Christian communities, are now happening in our communities and schools. So I highly recommend that you Muslim women and men homeschool your children. And you can homeschool them through SAFAUSA.org, which is a virtual online Islamic school headed by Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid and his community. So inshallah, that should work for you. And tonight, what we're going to do is continue our topic in this book of SHIRK. SHIRK. This is what we began discussing yesterday. We have to be aware of SHIRK. So let me put the PowerPoint up on the screen so everyone can see. Inshallah. Okay. Yeah, so you guys should be able to see. And so tonight we're going to speak about, and we're covering pages 154 through 156 of the book. And what is this chapter? Well, we getting ready to start a new chapter. I'll get Mina, remind me to get from you the pages for the next chapter, because this is the end of this chapter. And I want to be able to put it on the PowerPoint for the kids for next week. Okay, so make sure you buy both books, guys. The children's book called Knowing Allah and Sharing Islam, and the adult version, which is Know Your Lord, because the children should be learning this deen right along with you. And that book is the same. It's the same subject matter. It's just written on a simpler level for the kids to understand. Okay, so yeah, and this is for this book is pages 271 through 276. Or is that the next chapter, Amina? Is that the next chapter or this one?
Yeah, that's the chapter 4.
That's the next one or this one?
Strong right now, chapter 4.
Okay, this is the one now. So right now we're on 271 through 276 for the children, and the children should be able to answer the questions that follow after it. Tonight, we're going to end the chapter by discussing the other type of shirk by deification. And I know this is a big word, so let me make it smaller. Shirk by giving another creation of Allah his attributes. And we're going to talk about that tonight. And you will see that a lot of people fall into this category. But before we get into it, let me give you a quiz from yesterday. We only have 2 questions. I want you guys to tell me, what is the meaning in English of the Arabic word shirk? And you have a lot of options because we know how that is. What is the meaning of the word shirk? Does it mean disbelief? Does it mean to associate partners with Allah? Or does it mean to equate others to Allah? Or does it mean to equate Allah to others? Or does it mean all of the above? Or does it mean just the second answer? Or does it mean the second and first answers? I'll give you guys a couple of seconds, a few seconds to look over the answers and tell me what you think. When you guys have an answer, you can get on the mic and tell it, or you can type it. What is the meaning in English of the Arabic term shirk? From those answers given there.
I'd say all above.
Okay, Mina says all of the above. Any other answers?
I agree with Mina.
Oh, could you just wake up or something?
No.
Yeah, I could tell. Okay, Latifa and Nadia said all of the above. Any other answers besides theirs? Everybody agree? Exactly. That's the correct answer. It's all of the above. This is something that I'm always reminding you guys of. Arabic is not a religion. It's a language, a foreign language. And Arabic is completely different than English. One Arabic word can take on 100 different meanings, depending on how it's used. And unfortunately, there's a lot of Muslims that think that the word shirk means just to associate partners with Allah. And this is incorrect. That is one of the meanings of shirk. But it also means to disbelieve in him. It also means to equate others to him. It also means to equate him with others. And it means more than that too. But these are the four meanings of the term shirk that we went over yesterday that you as English speaking people need to be aware of. And there are sins of disbelief out there. And I am going to cover that class with you guys. Once we finish the class on marriage in Islam, I will replace that class with the sins of disbelief, because there are a lot of sins of disbelief that we need to be aware of. Okay, so shirk means all of the above. What about this? Allah says in the Quran, in the interpretation of the meaning, they said, indeed, Allah is poor and we are rich. Is this statement, if a person says Allah is poor, is this a form of shirk? And I want you to explain why or why not. Who'd like to answer that? To say that Allah is poor, is this a form of disbelief or a form of associating partners with Allah, or a form of equating something others to Allah, or a form of equating Allah to his creation? What do you guys think? And tell me why or why not. And I've basically given you the answer.
I'll say yeah, because it's actually labeling Allah. You're basically associating, not basically, you're equating Allah to us.
Exactly. That's why I say I basically gave you the answer. Good job, Mina. Exactly. This is a form of disbelief. We can't go around saying Allah is poor. If I do that, I'm equating Allah to his creation. And remember, Allah tells us in the Quran that he is nothing like his creation. This is a form of disbelief. We can never put Allah down to the level of something he created. But how many Muslims do that every day? If you're one of those Muslims that's putting Allah on the level of yourself or any other entity he created, you're disbelieving in him. So we have to be careful of this. So this is what we spoke about yesterday, how people commit that form of shirk. And today we're going to speak about another form of shirk, which is disbelief due to deification. And what is disbelief in Allah due to deification? Well, this occurs. This form of shirk occurs in Allah's names and attributes, and it relates to eras where created beings or created things are given names or attributes which only belong to Allah. So when you give one of Allah's names, or when you give one of Allah's attributes to something other than him, you are guilty of this form of disbelief. And let me give some examples. We talked about how Islam, Allah tells us in the Quran the stories of the people that came before us and the mistakes they made so as we don't duplicate them. And also we have the sunnah of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And during the time of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he let it be known that the ancient Arabs used to worship idols whose names were taken from the names of Allah. And their main three idols, were El-Lat, El-Uzza, and El-Manat. Those were named after three of the lofty and unique names of Allah. During the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's time, there arose a false man calling himself to be a prophet who took the name Rahman, which can only belong to Allah. And so who were the ancient Arabs I'm speaking about? Can anybody remember based on the class we had with Dr. Asim? Who were the ancient Arabs who used to worship three idols taken from the names of Allah? Can y'all remember who I told y'all they were? Allah speaks about them in the Quran. Who were they? They're known as the perishing Arabs. They were the original Arabs who were destroyed. What were their two tribes? I talked about it in the previous class. Y'all can't remember anything even an hour later, huh? Okay, those were the people of Ad, the people of Thamud that Allah speaks about in the Quran. Their ruins exist today. When you travel to Jordan, those ruins, the ruins of the Thamud people, they were the ancient Arabs here that used to did that. The people of the Ad, they were the ancient Arabs, and Allah left their remains behind for us to see how Allah gifted them with beautiful bodies. They were strong men, strong women. They were able to carve houses in the mountains, and their remains are still there, those mountains in Jordan. Okay, but they deviated away from worshiping Allah alone. They took his names and gave them to three idols. And as a result, what did Allah do? He destroyed them. That's why they're called the perished Arabs. Those were the original Arabs, and Allah destroyed them. Okay? Though none of their offspring exist today. All right? And then during the Prophet's time, the same thing happened again. Like I told you guys earlier, history just repeats itself. Man never changes. The criminal nature of man is intact. Okay, and we just keep repeating the same mistakes, the same sins over and over and over again. So in the Prophet's time, it happened again. A man called himself a Rahman, when that is a name that belongs only to Allah. So that's an example of this type of shirk, associating partners with Allah in regards to deity, or disbelieving in Allah that in regards to his deity, when you are taking his names and giving them to people. That's why I tell you guys, is it happening today? Is this happening today? History repeats itself. It happened with the Ad, the Thamud, then in the prophets' time. Is this happening today? Are people taking Allah's names and attributes and giving them to themselves? What do y'all think? Do y'all know people who have names they shouldn't have because these names belong only to Allah? I know a lot of brothers who call themselves Rahman. You guys don't? I know a lot of brothers that call themselves El Wahid. How many of you know people who call themselves El Akbar? How many of you know people who call themselves Mufti? So y'all see, history just repeats itself. And we wonder why Allah is sending all these calamities. Is this clear to everybody? This is disbelief. We Muslims say we believe in Allah, but look at all the Muslims going around using names that belong only to Allah, or even referring to themselves with names that they should never refer to themselves with. You guys don't see this? You don't see this? This is called maqasid. That's my teachings. I'm not a lecturer. I am a true teacher. I'm going to teach you what Allah says, what the Prophet says, and show you how it applies to the problems of today. That's maqasid. Okay? We got to stop calling ourselves by the names of Allah, thinking that we are Allah. The ancient Arabs did it. They did it in the time of the Prophet, and they're doing it today. How many of you have named your sons names they shouldn't have? Okay, another example. Let's talk about the Shiites. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about the Shiites. Among the Shiite sects, there's a sect called the Nusayriya, or the Alawiyah of Syria. They're from Syria. Remember, the Prophet said the majority of the fitna that will impact this nation will come from Syria, the direction of Syria and Iraq. Authentic hadith. That hadith is Bukhari. Well, the Shiite sects of Nusayriya or Alawiyah of Syria, they believe that the Prophet Muhammad's cousin and son-in-law Ali ibn Abu Talib was a manifestation of Allah himself. And they ascribe to him many attributes that only belong to Allah. Oh, yeah. And that's why I say, how is it that we Muslims are so twisted in our belief system? We're so overcome with emotionalism because we forget that Allah is the one in control. We forget that there is no power, there is no might other than Allah. Because you can't stand to see what's going on in the world today. You're so weak that you think that we can sit down with the Shiites and drop all our differences. Are you out your mind? That is no different than sitting down with Trump. Why don't you Muslims just sit down with Trump and drop your differences? Just sit down with Israel. These people are crazy. These people are crazy. They worship other than Allah. Does everybody understand that? Okay. Remember, we talked the other day about how another form of shirk or disbelief in Allah's names and attributes would be to deny it, deny his name and attribute. Allah is the just. We have Muslims today, right now, as I am lecturing, crying about how Allah has abandoned them because of this war that's going on, and because children are dying, and because women are dying, and because, as the Prophet Muhammad said, don't cry for our children, don't cry for our women, because our women and our children are in the form of birds flying around the throne of Allah. He's in control. He sends war to test the true believer with something better than this filthy world. And they accept it willingly. And he also sends war to expose who the true hypocrites are who claim to be believing Muslims. And a lot of you brothers and sisters are showing that you are in that category of being hypocritical in your belief. You think that we can sit down with Shiites? It's no like this. They're no different than sitting down with a kafir that calls himself Trump. Okay? And also amongst the Shiite, they got many sects. There's another set of them called the Ismaili. The Ismaili, they're also known as the Aga Khanites. They consider their leader, Aga Khan, to be Allah himself. Allah himself reincarnated. So now do you see why Allah has sent war? Now do you see why Allah has sent all this calamity to this earth to us? Because we've transgressed. We've deviated in our belief in him. We're no different than the Christians. We're associating partners with Allah. We're disbelieving in his lordship. We're molesting and sexually abusing our children. We're having illegal sexual relations outside of marriage with women and men. We're drinking. We're doing marijuana. We've made things lawful that Allah made haram. We're intermingling, intersexing. We have women in charge over the affairs of men. We have women over our executive boards of our masajids. So how dare you Muslims around the world cry out about how Allah has abandoned you? How dare you Muslims around the world protest the justice of Allah? Y'all see that? We have to change our thinking back to the reality. Okay? Also, look at these pictures of people here. We talk about Lebanon. I keep telling you guys, Allah is just. Allah says he sends war to cleanse the earth of bad, corrupt people. Yes, innocents will die, but Allah promises when he raises us up, he'll judge us individually. And as our prophet said, don't cry for our children. Don't cry for our women. Don't even cry for our men, because our people are in paradise. Where's yours? The prophet said any fitna that impacts this entire nation, all fitna will emerge from the east. What's the source? Bukhari Muslim. From the direction of Syria, Iraq, Iran, Lebanon. Let's talk about it. Lebanon. There's a group of people who call themselves Muslims. This is how they look. You will see them when you travel to Lebanon. They're called the Druze. Nice turbans, beautiful beards, handsome men. I'd marry them if they were upon the correct Aqidah. The Druze of Lebanon, they believe that the Fatimid Caliph, El-Hakam Bil Amrila, was the last manifestation of Allah amongst humankind. How many of you knew that? Lebanon. You want to say that Allah is unjust? You're calling it a genocide. Lebanon. By the way, this ain't the first war that Allah sent to Lebanon. Allah has sent many wars to Lebanon because the Lebanon is also one of the headquarters of the Shiites. It's a main headquarter of the Druze. It's the main headquarter of the twirlers and so many others who associate partners with Allah. So Allah is just. And like our prophet, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, said, the war against Islam, it will impact the entire earth. There will not be a corner on the earth that will not be involved, will not be experiencing this war. But why does Allah begin in the East? Because Islam came to them first. They were the first to receive it. And they will be the first to abandon it. So that's why Allah sends his war there first. What's the source? Bukhari and Muslim. Y'all better learn your deen and stop being emotional, listening to these brothers who are weak in their emotions, weak in their belief, cry a river about children dying, about women dying, when our prophet said, don't cry for our women and children. The companions didn't cry for them, didn't cry over them. Okay? The Druze of Lebanon, it's a lot of them. They associate partners with Allah. And not just does Lebanon have the Druze. Y'all want to know what else Lebanon got besides the Druze and the Shiites? They got the extreme Sufis too. Allah is just. What does Allah say? I have to cleanse the earth. It's too many of you. Too many of you corrupt people that the rest of the world follows, that the rest of the world worships as me. And when I'm the only one deserving of it, so I got to cleanse the earth. I have to send war. I have to send war. People have to die. People will die. But I promise you, out of my mercy, I will raise you up and judge you individually. We have the extreme Sufis. And these men, they claim that they can become one with the law. Those are those twirlers. Those are those twirlers y'all see twirling around till they get drunk. They say that they twirl in circles because when they get drunk, it's connecting them, making them one with the law. These people involved in so much polytheism and shirk, it ain't funny. They worship the dead. They call upon the dead. They worship Ali. Oh my God. And that's their headquarters are that part of the world, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Israel. Allah. When we read the Quran, we don't have to say Sadaqallahu Adeen. But y'all hear all these Arabs saying it, don't you? Innovators. If you don't have to remind yourself when you read the Quran, open your eyes and look around and you can see that Allah speaks the truth. And Allah is just in everything that he does. Allah is just in everything he sends. Like Allah tells us in the Quran, everything good comes from me and everything evil comes from me too, as a result of what you people have brought on yourselves. Cry me a river. Cry me a river. The believers ain't crying. Okay? And then another example of disbelief in Allah by giving his attributes of deity and his names of deity to the others of his creation. We have the unbelieving Einstein people. They believe in the theory of relativity, that energy is equal to mass times the square of the speed of light. They teach this stuff, in school. We heard of it. This theory states that energy can neither be created nor destroyed, but simply transforms into matter and vice versa. Even though Allah tells us in the Quran that he is the creator of everything, good and evil. He's the creator of your actions, my actions too. He's the creator of language. He's the creator of the universe. Nothing exists unless he says exist. Just like nothing will die or perish unless he says die or perish. Tawheed. Why is it that so much fitna is happening to us as a nation? We've deviated away from this belief in Allah's lordship. We're committing shirk, disbelief every day in different forms. Again, energy and matter are created by Allah. Listen to what Allah says in the interpretation of the meaning, and do not invoke with Allah another deity, because there is no deity except him. Everything will be destroyed except his face. You Muslims worried about genocide. What are you worried about? Allah says that your enemies will never destroy you, even though it's their desire for us to perish. He said, I will never give your enemies power over you, O Muhammad. Your enemies, the enemies of this nation, will never genocide it, will never destroy it. But instead, your nation will be destroyed by itself. So why are y'all worried about Israel? Israel ain't got the power to do nothing. Just like, no, you don't have the power to do anything unless Allah wills it. And Allah has already promised our destruction will not come from our enemies. I don't care how much the rest of the world wants to obliterate all Muslims. This ain't new. This happened during the time of the companions. During the caliphate of Abu Bakr, what happened? Heraclius said, I'm sick of these Muslims. I want to genocide them. I want to obliterate them. Did he succeed? No. The same with the Mongols. Did they succeed? No. The same with the Crusaders. Did they succeed? No. So why do you Muslims today who are weak in your faith and practice think y'all are any different? Oh, because Allah has promised to do what he said. Allah is doing what he promised to do, because Allah has once again sent war to us. And once again, it's beginning in that same part of the world: Syria, Iraq, Lebanon, Jerusalem. It's the same part of the world where it always begins. Now, all of a sudden, it's genocide. So you lost your mind. Allah is in control. Nothing will perish unless Allah wills it. And everything will eventually perish except his face. When the prophet said, fall back upon Tawheed, this is what he meant: to do just what I'm doing. to learn your religion correctly. Check your belief system. Read the words of Allah. Listen to what he's saying. Apply it. Practice it. Pull yourselves together. Stop giving man power that he doesn't have. Stop trusting in non-Muslims and LGBTQ. Stop trusting in famous celebrities. And instead put your trust in Allah, because as Allah says, man will always let you down. Put your trust in me. I'll never desert you. I'll never let you down. So the theory of Einstein is crap too. Just like the theory of the Shiites, the theory of the Druze, the theory of the Sufis, the theory of all the different sets of men and women who call themselves Muslims, but they are upon something other than what the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam came with. And their understanding of this deen is not as those original companions was. Keep on thinking that that man can change the destiny of this world. Keep on thinking that the kafirs and voting in elections, which is haram, is going to change the destiny that Allah has already decreed to be. But again, you will be destroyed. Again, you will die. Again, you will perish. But Allah promises he'll judge us all individually. And then we have Darwin's theory of evolution. Oh, I'm sorry, I messed up with the PowerPoint. Wait a minute, hold on, guys. I'm sorry, I hit the wrong button. Y'all know I get caught up in my lectures sometimes. You know, I'm dramatic. I get caught up and hit the wrong button. Okay, I'm sorry. You guys all know Darwin's theory of evolution, that we evolved, that humans evolved from apes and all that dumb stuff. Y'all know this is dumb stuff. Yes, monkeys look like us. That's how Allah willed it. Allah created the creation in his image. What does that mean? Allah created the creation the way he wanted it and imagined it to be. Monkeys and apes look like humans. But just because something looked like you don't mean that you came from it. This goes against Tawheed. And also giving names, again, referring to people, men with names that belong to Allah. Remember, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the most hated person in Allah's sight is someone whose name is the King of Kings. Only Allah is the King of Kings. Only Allah is the judge of all judges. What do you think Allah would say about you calling yourself Mufti? Y'all know what the word Mufti means? Oh, you better look it up. That's a lesson that Moses alayhi salam had to learn. That you ain't no Mufti. There's always somebody that knows better than you. He had to learn that from El-Kidr. But we got little boys being referred to as being muftis, men in their 20s and 30s who ain't even lived long enough to see tomorrow because they memorized the Quran, because they can speak well and they famous and popular. You're a mufti? What a term of arrogance you are. Subhanallah. So again, guys, you know, we have to be careful of this. Calling yourself the judge. The judge. Only Allah is the judge. There was a companion. Let me give y'all a couple of stories. And what's the source for all three of these? Bukhari and Muslim. There was one companion named Taki. Taqwa. How many of you know brothers and sisters named Taqwa and Taki? Well, there was a man who was called Taqwa. The prophet changed his name. He said, never give yourself a name that's hard to live up to. Only Allah knows who's righteous. Only Allah knows who's not righteous. So the prophet changed that person's name from Taqwa. Look how many Muslims today are named Taqwa. Okay? There was another companion who was named Abul Hakam, which means the judge. The prophet changed his name. He said only to Allah is the judgment. So he gave them the kunya of his eldest son. The prophet Muhammad married 3 women. 3 of his wives, their original name was, I'm trying to think because my mind's going crazy, Bura. I can't pronounce it right now. Bura. Zainab was one. And the prophet Muhammad changed their names. He changed her name to Zainab. He changed the other one to Habiba. And he changed the other one to something else, to whatever her name was. I can't miss 3 of his wives that had that name. Because he said, once again, don't give your children names that they can't live up to. Look how many Muslims name their children Quran, Hadith, Taqwa, Rahman, El Walid, and all these other type of names. And we ask ourselves, why is Allah unjust? A'udhu billahi. Why has Allah turned his back on this nation and letting children and women die and people be genocided? First of all, ain't nobody being genocided. Ain't nobody being genocided. Because Allah said it won't ever happen. Okay? You don't never ask why Allah does what he does. Instead, what we need to ask is, what have we done as a nation to cause him to do what he's doing? Do you Muslims get what I'm trying to teach y'all? People in Zoom, let me hear some feedback.
Yeah, breaking it down very clear.
And every day, the news is hitting us about more sexcapades that the famous men of this nation are indulging in. The rape, the molestations, how we're violating the trust. You have a position of leadership in your community and you're violating the trust. You know, that's a position of amana between you and Allah. We're violating the trust between ourselves and Allah, the trust between the people. These men and women shouldn't even be holding positions. They should have been removed as imams and lecturers back in 2012. But y'all still calling these men sheikh and imam. I mean, and you want to ask why? Why has Allah abandoned us and cry me a river? Y'all can take your river of tears on to Justin, what's his name? Timberlake. Go cry your river of tears to Justin Timberlake and Britney. Because Abdul and Amatullah don't have the ear for it. Y'all understand that? Okay, so I'm going to stop right here. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. I want to remind everybody that at 9 o'clock, not 9:30, at 9 o'clock, Dr. Jamali won't be doing his class, but I will do the class on marriage. The class on marriage, and I will go over chapter 22 of the book Sacred Bonds. So you guys can read ahead, chapter 22 of Sacred Bonds. Okay, any questions or comments? Yeah, the allergies are bad, man. Any questions or comments? And please support us, guys. This is the beginning of the month. I haven't even checked our account. I know you guys, some of you have been sending in donations. May Allah bless you. But I don't know how much is in the account because I haven't had a chance to look. Please donate to support us, guys. We are a nonprofit organization. And I know many of you are in shock because a lot of you have been sending your donation to support Islamic organizations that have broken the trust of Amana, okay, with the Muslims. Well, maybe now it's time to stop wasting your money on them. Put your money where the dawah is, like the commercial says. Put your money where the dawah is, right here at Sunnahfollowers. We are a nonprofit organization. It's ran by women, not men. We're old housewives. We're women over the age of 50. And we got children who are in their 20s and 30s. Put your money where the dawah is and support Sunnahfollowers online. Hey, 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 that's a new jingle. Where's Geechee? Put your money where the dawah is. Just that part of the jingle. Put your money where the dawah is. Give me that part of the jingle, and I can make some stuff up. Put your money where the dawah is, and not where the celebrity is. So we can stay online because we are nonprofit and we're just housewives. We ain't got no money. We ain't got no husbands either. We single. We're gonna die single probably because can't no man deal with us. We're single. Put your money where the dawah is and support us, inshallah. Okay, yeah. Any other questions? Go ahead. You got some questions? Go ahead. Yeah, those, yeah. Oh, that part of the world is where the Shiites are, brother. You didn't know that? Iran is a Shiite country. Lebanon, that part of the world, Lebanon is not. First of all, guys, I tell you guys, 30% of the Arabs, Iranians are not Arabs. But of the Arabic people, 30% of the Arabs are Christian. You got some Catholic Palestinians. Not all Palestinians are Muslim. They're Arabic, but we have a lot of Catholic Palestinians. Lebanese, you have a lot of Christian, Catholic Lebanese. And then you have the Shiite Lebanese. Then you have the Druze. Oh my God, that part of the world is all messed up. Like the Prophet Muhammad said it would be. Syria, the same way. You got a lot of Shiites, a lot of Christian Arabs in Syria. Iraq, the same way too. That's the way that part of the world has been because remember, that part of the world used to be part of the Roman and the Persian Empire. The Romans were Christians. The Persians were pagans. Okay, so yeah, that part of the world has always been like this. It's nothing new. It was always filled with Christians and whatever else. Jews and yes. Yeah, you thought that all Arabs were Muslim? No, 30% of the Arab population is Christian. And it shocks a lot of people to know that. Yeah. And those Christian Arabs hate Islam. I'm going to tell you why they hate it. The Christian Arabs think that Islam is what destroyed them as a race. The Christian Arabs, they hate Islam because they say because of it destroyed them as a race. They think that they have no unity because of Islam. Yeah, the Christian Arabs hate Islam. They're the ones that's always trying to find controversy because they speak Arabic. Yeah, they're Arabs. They speak Arabic. So they're the ones that read the Quran and try to find controversy and all that crap in it. That comes from the Christian Arabs. Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot of stuff you guys don't know. That's why I tell y'all, stay out of the politics. Do not get involved in the politics of the world, because there's a lot of stuff that y'all don't know that's been going on for centuries. That's why our prophet told us don't involve ourselves in the politics of the world. Just stick to Islam, stick to our politics, our laws, our rules, and don't busy yourself with the other people's politics. Because a lot of this stuff in that part of the world's been going on for centuries. And Allah is not unjust. Allah doesn't do anything because he's unjust. He has reason and cause for everything he does. Okay? And that part of the world is messed up. Always has been and will be. Our prophet said that. Yeah, we got to learn our religion. Get out of politics. All right, no other questions or comments? Brother Ahmad, yes, you're from that part of the world too. The simple fact that you are from Pakistan. Pakistan is a filthy part of the world too. There's more Sufis and crap in Pakistan too. You're from the East too. Your country is another reason why Allah has sent what he sent. They've deviated away from Islam. They're worse than Americans. They're worse than the Muslims in the West. So Allah speaks the truth. He said anything bad that impacts this entire nation will begin in the East and make its way to the rest. Your part of the world is the East too, Brother Ahmad. It's going to get to your part of the world before it gets to mine too, because again, your people deviated. They deviated away from the truth, and they're still deviating away from it. The simple fact that you come from that country and you were one of the people questioning Allah. Ain't no Muslim here questioning Allah. You see, Allah is just. He said that the first people that will abandon belief in him and his lordship will be the Muslims from the East. You are from the East and you were questioning your Lord. I'm from the West, Ahmad. Even though I'm Arab, I was born in America. I ain't never been to Egypt. I never question Allah's lordship. The Muslims in my Zoom room, they're African Americans born in America. They done been through trials and everything from slavery up. They've never questioned the lordship of Allah. But you from Pakistan, the East, and you questioned his lordship. Now do you see why Allah is just? And he speaks the truth. He said it would be you people from the East that will be the first to question him over the West. We reap what we sow. Don't blame it on Allah. Don't blame it on Israel. Blame it on yourself, people. And that's what these men should be telling y'all, but they ain't. They're too busy holding on to their famous titles and positions and whatnot. I'm just a girl. They don't want to listen to me. I'm just a girl in the world. I ain't nobody. I'm just a girl. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to log out for right now. I'll be back at 9, inshallah, for the class on The topic I don't want to talk about, but I will, marriage. All right, Sapana Kala Huma, Wabi Hamdika, Ashadon Laila Haila, Anta, Astakfiruka, Watubu, Ilike.